Your show's gonna be awesome, bro. Your show's gonna be awesome.
Ok, Tanskapi and Nathaniel and Matthew. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Little Dog. How you guys doing today? You know what? I'm excited. Today's kind of a short episode, and so as you guys saw in the intro, for those of you who will watch the intro, keep a good lookout towards the end for the end credits because there is secret code embedded in the end credits. Interesting. Better check that out. Anyways, so exciting show. Today we're gonna have Joseph Thomas Bailey on today, and he is the CEO, the founder of the Native American Entertainment Coalition, and so he's going to tell us what that is. He's going to tell us that it's something that's kind of rebooting. It needs a little bit of a reboot since COVID and everything. So, good thing to bring attention to. And he's going to be the only person that we actually interview today. The reason for this is because there's an event going on, as you guys know. It's the last week of Katie Aubrey's nights for Wednesdays over at the Green Jacket in Mansfield. So, ladies, if you're out there, get out there to the Green Jacket. Gentlemen, you can only accompany a lady if you want to go. So, Green Jacket in Mansfield, Katie Aubrey, free golf. Check it out. It's a pretty cool place. They play a lot of music, very loud. Anyways, we plan on going to that afterwards. So, uh, you know, short episode because it does end at 10 today and it is the last night. So want to check that out. Now, recently I had a very good pleasure of going to a kickoff tour for the Cowboy Cumbia tour. And so it was over in Fort Worth. It was at Live Social. It was really awesome. I got a lot of really cool content, a few on the spot interviews. I have some stuff coming up. I just released on YouTube Mandy Red's little unreleased sneak peek. If you go to my YouTube page, you can check that out. As well as I have more interviews coming up from Chris Detroit, Tony King, you know, DJ King was there. I had some music, some of him singing music up there. I did really some of interaction that I had with Frankie Boy. He was super cool. We had two of the original Cumbia Kings there, and it was really awesome. Chris Detroit did an awesome job as well. Great job, bro. Did awesome. So I have more content that's going to be coming up released. I'm trying a different editing style. Pretty excited about it, but I'm trying a whole new editing style. I'll let you guys know how it works out. Let me know how you guys like it. See if that's something that I can do a little bit more of coming up. I do have some pretty good sized interviews coming up, such as Mandy Red does want to come on the show. I'm very honored. As well as, I'm going to have DJ King back on, of course. Can't go on without homeboy. Chris Detroit, Tony King, Adrian Garza wants to come on, Southbound Twins. A lot of great stuff coming up. So keep an eye out for it. Go to my YouTube at tew.little.dog, I believe. But check it out. It's on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. Check out all my new content, okay? Now, this episode is sponsored, and their sponsor is Water Pure Texas. So I hope you like clean water because it's going to be the most natural out of here. Only wants to use a certain media called Zeolite. If you want more information on that, give us a call. Now, I also am sponsored by my other company as well, too, which is right here. I'm at the One Construction, and I do handyman service. So that is me. I'm on a roof. Yay! And then those are water heaters that I could service. So give me a contact. You need some help. Realtors, anything like that, just hit me up. All right? Keep me busy. I can't, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So there we go. Now, I do want to go ahead and bring back up to my media company because I'm going to be doing something coming up here pretty soon. I'm going to be working with the ethnic ethnic studies of North Texas, I believe it's called. And we're going to be putting together on the 7th. We're going to be doing a little bit of a documentary style uh, interview. And now this will not be live. We will be having a premiere for it, but I will be creating a trailer out of it. It'll be the first of that type that I have done. And it is a little bit more of a passion project. So we are looking to start to film that and do about a day filming, and then we'll be able to release that. Again, it's going to be more of a YouTube premiere than anything else. If it does get passed, that'd be cool if we can revisit it and turn it into something that maybe go to a film festival. Definitely a possibility. So keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, the way that you guys can help the American Indian Native Studies is by going here, screenshotting, oops, that side, that QR code right there, and then going and signing the petition saying that you do want Native American Studies in the Texas School Board of Education. Okay, let them know that you do support it, that you want to help make it happen. Okay, I really appreciate that. Now, also actors and everybody else, remember that I do have a production company, and this is it right here. I help out with doing self tapes on my camera, and I do provide exterior audio in order to, exterior audio for better type, so that way I can hand in the full version with better audio than just what the camera has to offer. Okay. I do readings as well, so I can help out with the reading if you do an audition, and I know how to be on the other side. Okay. So, hmm, sorry, I just saw a message come through. I better actually block my notifications here, because we all know how that happens. I get one call, and next thing you know, the video's out. So I'm pretty excited. What we're gonna do is go on to the next one right here. Oh, we have a comment. Hey there, brother. How's it going? Good to see you here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your support. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put that we can show them on the stage. So right over here in the, I believe it's in this corner. Nope, in that corner. In that corner, you'll be able to see some of the comments pop up. So it also helped me keep track of what's going on as well too. No, I don't want to play that. Thank you. Let's see. Oh yes. So on to thanking Blackfoot, Language Academy on Facebook in association with you guys, as well as Introduction to Blackfeet Community College, who I have been heavily reliant on learning pronunciation from. Thank you guys very much. And so here is the word of the week that I have. Oakan ototomo. Oakan ototomo. Accepting everyone. Now, this is the indigenous way right here. We did accept a lot of people and everyone. Now, there were certain ones that did have slaves. However, that's not something that we're talking about. But the tribes did accept everyone. That's why a lot of the tribes are mixed. So, Oakan Atotamo. Accepting everyone, which is how it should be on set, especially for those of us who are local here to Texas. We're going to be meeting on set a lot, and you can't be going through and, trying to cause chaos with each other, because we're going to be working together a lot and you get along. So accept everyone around you, and keep persevering hard. Okay. So coming up in a little bit, I've actually made it through my announcements pretty quickly. I'm quite surprised. Uh, oh, one more shout out, Dallas Film Hub Fridays. Now, I actually go out with an acting group every single Friday evening, and this is here local to the DFW area. So one thing is that in acting, we tend to believe that we are on our own a lot, because it feels like that. We're not out there hanging out with a lot of other people whenever we're not at work. A lot of times. So it's good to get out there and network and hang out and get a lot of practice, especially when you're not being busy at the time. When you're not getting cast for a lot of projects, you can go out there and practice with short films. Get together with networking events. So Dallas Film Hub has started Film Hub Fridays, which every Friday we get together, we shoot a short film, and it usually comes out the following Tuesday. And so, keep an eye out for that. Follow Dallas Film Hub on Instagram, and you know what? Let me go ahead and show the folder, okay? So that way you guys can go there yourself. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to text 469-219-4620. That is Doobie. He's going to want a headshot. You send him your headshot and ask him for a location, and he will send you a location. He'll give you a couple of chances before moving on, okay? So go ahead and check that out. Dallas Film Hub presents Film Hub Fridays. Come out, join us, have some fun, shoot some short films. Oh, that was a lot of S's. Shoot some short films and and have some fun with us. All right. Now, one thing that it is that as actors we take things a little pretty serious because it is pretty serious thing for us. However, we forget to have fun. And so that's what Dallas Film Hub does. It's a lot of improv acting, which is a lot of fun to have. And stuff that you can use for reels in the end, okay? And remember, reels is one thing that you need if you're going to be a successful actor. Getting practice, being able to do something, seeing something that you really like that you did on screen that made it onto the YouTube channel for IRM Films, clip it. There's a reel for you. Part of your acting reels, all right? So remember, Film Hub Fridays, follow them and ask for a location. Now, 710. I may bring him along a little bit earlier because he is actually in the waiting room. We have Joseph Thomas Bailey, and we are going to ask some questions of him. All right. So I'm going to play this little intro video of his. Oh, wait. Yep. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to save that part for later. But I'm going to play his intro. This is him doing a monologue, and we will be back with Joseph.
Have you ever wondered if there was something much more powerful than a werewolf? I'm here to tell you there is. We are what you humans would understand as dire werewolves. And we have been around for a very long time, for over an age. And of course, we purposely made sure that there is not much, if anything, known or written about us. But we do exist. And I wanted to give fair warning to the common low werewolves. You must remember the order of things, the natural order of things. We have figured to come back. Those that are left, those that have survived. I figure we should at least be fair about it. We have taught and done so much over the ages. It is now our time to come back. So, be mindful, be wary, and above all, be respectful, for you may not know where and who you will find us and who will be one of us. I will give more as time goes on.
Hey there, Joseph. How you doing? Oh, I think your sound is off.
Try that again.
All right, now I can hear you. Oh, for a second there we did.
Or is it not catching what I'm saying?
Oh, there we go. I think you're speaking at such low decibels that your microphone wasn't catching it.
It happens sometimes.
I see we caught you combing your mane.
Yeah, the hair.
Nice. Man, so that was actually pretty cool monologue right there. I like how you did your voice. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself. Please introduce yourself to the crowd and give us a little bit about your background.
real quick. I was born in Chicago in the blizzard of '76, and lived all over the country where I could, and joined the military after recovering for 6 years prior to recovering from a car accident. Did my whatever I could in the military, got out, uh, took care of my parents. My mother passed away in 2010. My father survived for about 7 years after her, but he got to see me do what I wanted to do since I was a kid, which is get into acting. Always be in the stage bit. I've had, you ever had, you believe in signs like we all do in our culture and belief. There was
Yes.
always moments in my young life that I had the opportunity to be in front of a camera, a screen, or whatever, and due to financial things with my family, um, was not able to. Anyway, I got my 5-year-old trying to play with the whistle while we're doing this, so I'm trying to parent while I'm doing all this. I have a
Good one.
5-year-old with my third marriage. Um, and she does. I got her into modeling and stuff. And I'm trying to get her on stage too. If I can give anything with her as memories, it's about the best thing I can do. You
Nice.
know, because when I turn 50 next winter, she turns 7. I'm
Oh.
25 and a half. Shh. She always wants to be the entertainer.
Don't
Put
forget
her
the
in front of
half.
a camera, and then she like this, and she'll start talking.
Nice.
Um, I started. I've done bodyguard work since I was trained to do stuff like that since I was about 14, 15. Did bodyguard work, wound up on Jerry Springer
Nice.
for an episode. I didn't work for Jerry, I worked for somebody else. And I got tired of that. Was my only conversation piece, was last about 10 to 15 minutes, which was, yes, I was in Jerry.
I think you froze up there. Hello, Joseph. I think you froze up, but we may have lost him. Is he there? Are you back? No. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it looks like it's about to. Looks like it's growling at me. Come on, brother. Are you there still? Rats. Well, looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, so I'll go over a couple of things that you should go through. I mean, we don't really have anybody. Yep, and we lost him. And so that's what always makes a good show, right? You know what? Whenever we start having things in a more physical form to where we're able to meet together and have more of a stage, I know that things are going to get a lot better. So until he jumps back in, we are going to hold on a second. Something's not right. Share now. Share attachments. I am trying to make sure that everything is going smoothly on all of the ways that we're streaming. So we're streaming actually on Instagram. I think we're streaming on Instagram. I'm not entirely sure. I see 2 hearts on there, and still I have not been able to figure out, how to get my my Instagram back to English. Still trying to figure that out. But anyways, I am. Okay. Well, looks like we kind of lost him for a second. So I'm not sure entirely if I am, streaming on Instagram. I think I am. I know that I am on Facebook. Oh, and we got Joseph back. So let's go back to him.
It
Hey
said it
there,
was
welcome back.
there. It said we're on that box in our you and I see. It says uploading recordings and so forth. It said recording error.
It's okay. I'm recording it on mine.
And I'm like, but I'm not recording anything. Everything's done by you. But I got tired going back to, I said, Jerry Springer did that. I got tired of my only conversation piece was for about 5-10 minutes, and you can't really expand everything else from that. I moved with my late father and my then wife I had then to Portland. and then just I answered um a posting on was it Craigslist for gigs, and then that's how I started getting into the entertainment industry in Portland, and that was over 10 years ago with a project called Portland Grad. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing. Yes, sir.
Like,
He's a Portland brand.
Portland Grad, like Stalin, instead of Stalingrad, it was Portland Grad.
Okay, gotcha.
And I got, and I even to this day, I don't even know if it's ever been released. I would love to see it, just because it was my first one. You know, it was like your first one. You want to see, and a lot of what I did is I learned to do, and I found that was good at it was method acting and improv. As you can tell with the whole werewolf bit, that was how I got another thing up in Portland before I left. But then I got on meeting with with small amount of natives that were up there in the industry.
Hmm.
Met some other people up there, and I wound up getting on the librarian. Then I got on to what was it? The Grim, starting to practice the craft, doing the background bit. Where we all start somewhere. We're not all lucky to be like, "Hi, you're a leading role." Like what? Like
Yeah.
really? So I did that. I met a lot of interesting people. Traveled up to Washington. I met a friend of mine. He's been really busy lately over the past few years, trying to recoup all of us like we did during the pandemic.
Hmm.
He was in The Matrix. He was Lawrence Fishburne's acting stunt double.
Oh, that's cool.
And he was doing a project at the time that he was trying to launch. And it was based on a character he came up with. It was that the character was half werewolf, half vampire.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's an awesome guitar. He teaches you how to do the moves. Man, I can't think straight right now. Um, Choreographer.
I didn't want
Okay.
berry, Daddy.
Go take care of it.
Oh.
And he spent a lot of time breaking it down to do how to do the moves and all of me saying I've been trying to find that video clip. I was going to try to send that to you because it was called Bane the Apocalypse.
Hmm.
He tried getting that off and running. Not that I'm aware of. It just timing was not right for him, I think. But I even when I was in Portland as well, I produced and acted in indie music videos.
Nice.
Um, got together with like other natives, and we formed a group, and the group became something better, and then that became at the time a non-for-profit, and at the time, to mine and our knowledge, and when me looking it up online, it would have been the only one at the time. So we put it together, and we got recognized being a non-for-profit, and it was the Native American Entertainment Coalition. And we had a really good, strong core at the time, and uh, we addressed things that were going wrong on production on some things when we were acting in. Like and at the time the vice president David Velarde, we came across like when we were on Librarians. There was an episode where they were doing, I think it was in the third season.
Hmm.
They were saying it was Oklahoma, and it was in a rock quarry place. They couldn't spell. None of the production team that we were dealing with could spell Choctaw.
Oh,
Mind
wow.
you, they had their phones. We weren't in the 80s or 90s. We were not. This was past 2010. We had cell phones. Everybody was starting to write talked us so wrong. And I was like, y'all are gonna get really reamed on this, and you're gonna really get a lawsuit on this if you air this. So
Yeah.
they changed it. Our big man at the time, our big thing, it's still mine, is representation and an even thing, of us being in a role, whether it's a native role or not.
Hmm.
Because we are existent. We do exist. I remember when I got out of the army and I was just hopping from res to res, living, dating, whatever. I even came across people that were like, "You're native? I thought you were extinct. I want to shake your hand. Let's take a picture with the native guy." I've had that in my life. I don't know if that's happened to you.
Yeah, it's happened. It happened a lot, especially when I was younger. And one of the things that my school did was, uh, AOL outreach. We had AOL, and so we'd have
Oh,
to chat with somebody from a different country, and so we would, and people would be like surprised. They'd be like, "Oh, I read about you in the history books." I'm like, "Yeah, I popped out of the books. I'm here on the internet now."
ta-da! Or you
Joking
could, or
around
it
with
can
them.
always be
I was
like
like, "Oh
Lightfoot,
yeah."
like Lightfoot did. It was out of a Indian in a cupboard. Ta-da!
Yeah, they thought that we still lived in like teepees and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
And
Something if someone you might know, are
and
you
that was
still in
like,
longhouses or teepees, or you live in the dirt, or you live in a tent with it made out of? I mean, we're in the 21st century. Come on.
yeah,
I mean,
that was
back
in
then it
like
was the 20th, but
2004. It was back in like 2004, and I was like, really?
hmm
Uh,
Um, but
Now,
I've
what
had
is the
that.
main goal of the Native American coalition? I know that you said Native American representation, but what would be, I guess, the main goal of it for the coalition? And you said that you're in a rebuilding, correct? Oh, rats! He froze again. I wonder if we heard everything I said, or uh, Joseph. Hello, 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 sir. Are you still there? Let me go ahead and remove him back from stage. I'll add him back whenever he starts talking again. I see him kind of in the screen. He's frozen there. So, yep. And he just disappeared. So he'll be back in a second. It's just one of those shows. Anyways, let me see. What else can I say? If you guys have any questions, oh, correct you are. Correct you are. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know. I have been in acting for a little while. I haven't told a whole lot of people about me, even though, unless you watch the first episodes told you a lot about me, a little bit about my background. Uh, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I am also saying that if you guys have any questions for Joseph, put them in the chat as well in the comments. Show some love, all right? This is an interactive interview, so feel free to ask questions. Your comment will end up on the screen if it's appropriate, okay? And so, oh, and look who's back. Bring him back on. Hey there, welcome
We should
back.
go at this rate. We should go back to smoke signals and telegraph.
Yeah, what we'll do is I'll tape him long distance. Be like, oh, this is what Joseph said.
Oh, let's see what is that? Is that two puffs and a dash or what? No. The goal for NACE was basically simple and straight to the point. Well, at the time, right? You're looking at around 2015 to 2017. Me and David put together. We were working beforehand, but we start putting, one and one and putting it all together. Was to have representation properly in the entertainment industry. Now, mind you, that's the industry. That means baseball, football, basketball. That's entertainment. If you're looking at news, entertainment. It's a very broad spectrum. Not only just what you see in the movies and on TV, but we're looking at dealing with, books, dealing with audio, voice actors, we are existent, and you know what I'm talking about. To be treated equally as a human being coming from a very ancient cultures.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was the premise of the thing. We were slowly trying to build up. We were just trying to. We had a fun of a time trying to get grant writers, get funding. Then when I moved down here and we moved the the flag moved down here, the chapter formed up there in Portland, in Oregon, and I started and put the flag down here for the headquarters. So it moved from Oregon to Texas,
So
and
would you say it would be kind of like a union type thing eventually,
no,
or?
I had people ask me that even when I was talking with SAG.
Hmm.
Trust me, I had people talking to me from SAG like, are you trying to redo and reinvent the wheel?" And I'm like, "No, we need a haven." It's kind of like, like the Hispanic and the African American dealing with, I forgot which organization it is, but the African American and then Hispanic entertainment or whatever it is. It's not really a union, but it's like a haven.
Hmm.
And the idea was for it to advocate and promote things and also encourage uh ideas. Hey,
Hmm.
I told him, if you come up with an idea and we can make it function, let's do it. We got the connections to film it at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the idea of basically a coalition. That's why NACE was a Native American Entertainment Coalition, the coalition of individuals being Native in the entertainment industry.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So I was that's pretty. That was something that we were talking with a couple of different indigenous actors that I've been on set with. Some of them are interested in a union. So, what would be the difference if they were to create their own union versus coalition? Is there what would be the difference between the two? I think you froze again. I either froze or is thinking for a very long time. I think you froze. Oh no, it's correct. Oh no. Oh, like they did on the Family Guy with the Star Wars. One time. We're just gonna add him back whenever he comes back. And any questions for me? Anybody? Anything? Questions, concerns, things that you were always wondering that I may or may not have an answer to? Yep, you're okay, Tom. Oh, too late. You're gonna have to save it for the end now. Oh, I added the wrong one.
and they
There you go. That's the right one.
said 5G was going to be better than anything.
Do what?
They said 5G was going to be better than anything. No. Anyway, you were stating about a union. The idea was that we were going to branch off and have a part of that as a union, still have the coalition, but branch it off. The idea was also then to have another thing as a production company.
Nice.
You know, um, we were very much promoting Native women. I remember I did the casting call. I put in for the casting call for was it Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
And I put in for whatever they were needing. I forgot what it was, but I had a conversation with one of the casting guys that interviewed me, and I was talking to him, and come to find out that the Asian chick they hired to play a native, the majority reason why they hired her is they couldn't find Native American actresses.
Hmm.
I had several on my roster, and most of them were officers at the
Most
time.
of them they don't bother looking. They're
No,
like,
and
hey,
I also
you're making actresses.
then I read what the actress said something, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember a few years back. She mentioned something about her having Cherokee ancestry, which that's why they jumped on it, but her grandparents came off the boat from China. Really? Um, things like that got me off. What really put the nail in the coffin for NACE as it was the pandemic.
Mhm.
We prior to the pandemic, we were having a couple of contracts for a film production that we were going to do cultural. That was the other thing we did. We also did cultural advising on projects, whether it was either photography, whether it was film, whether it was short film, anything like that. We were trying to make sure it was culturally close to the proper and appropriate. Not like you see some of these people have women wearing uh, headdresses that are Lakota style, and they're like, no, we're doing like, no, that's not how you do it. You're being disrespectful. If you
Yeah.
want to do it right, and if you want to present a certain idea, I will give you the ideas and how to do it. We had that set up, and the pandemic happened. That project that Friday just stopped. The other project stopped. I was actually going to be acting in that movie or that series.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. I was also I just found out a friend of mine that I knew for a few years. He passed away 2 years ago, and I didn't know about it. And he was a director, a writer, producer of a series that we were going to be getting together, and it was called Knight's End. Like KNI, not like
Yeah.
nighttime, but night, armor and all that. And I had a role in it, and then I was like, awesome. I was looking forward to it, and then I knew he wasn't doing well, but I didn't hear from him, and I found out about 3 to 6 months ago he passed away,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and
To hear.
nobody informed me or anybody else at that matter, even in the groups that he had me in with him. Like the group for the production and anything, nothing.
Mm.
So I've since the pandemic, everything has gone south, and not in a good way. And trying to rebuild has been the fun part.
Yeah.
I've been more focusing currently on myself and my daughter, for in the industry and acting and modeling, mostly modeling right now. So like I said, she can have memories. She at a very young age understood what it meant. We're going to work when she couldn't speak very much. We're going to go to work. And she got her dresses. She got mommy to get her dresses for her. We all put in a little butt, and we went, and the photographers around here in San Antonio would basically go nuts because she'd be one of the only few to or the toddler to show up and do proper photo shoots.
That's cool.
you know, and I would love to teach her what I've learned and make memories. Like if you were like switch around, if your dad was in the industry one day and try to have you have fond memories of things together, and he taught you that gives you that memory, those memories, and two, an opportunity to know that industry where most children do not at 5 or younger,
Yeah, for sure.
you know. And right now, I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things. Not dealing with going back to school and trying to find projects, but from what I look up around here, they're mostly dead.
Mm.
I did do a 48, and when I back, I'm back and forth a bit. We did a 48-hour film festival in Portland. I came up with an idea. I was like, why isn't there? I asked the producer of 48 in Portland at the time, has there ever been an all Native American team, or predominantly all Native American team, or mixed Native team, not just Native, right? And they said, to their recollection and their history, no. So I made a call to a friend of mine at the time and said, hey, I want to do a 48. Let's put a team together. And we got everything in. It was called we Red Fawn, after the Native woman who got arrested for being over at the pipeline,
Mm.
and all she was doing medical triage, medical stuff. So did that in her honor. Then we went to the picking of the genre, like you've done. If you've done 48, you got to pick the genre. So we had a two also a line, and we wound up having I think uh it was a silent film and something else, and I think we went obviously with the silent because I sent you the video.
Yes.
and it was addressing the big thing back then, and even now more.
For you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so we did that, and it was made called Missing Indigenous.
Mm.
And we won a bunch of awards. I've even tried even now sending that information, and I submitted that information to IMDb, and it's been 4 weeks plus already to have them relook at it again. They haven't added it, but we went all the way up to, I think Cannes at the time was in France, in Paris,
Nice.
and it showed. Um, yeah, so the people involved were really good. They were really professional, and they were fun to be with, being up there.
That's good.
You know,
Down there in San Antonio, there's a director that's local that you might be able to connect with.
what's his name? Because I remember when I first got here, he tried doing. There was a director trying to do a 1930s 40s kind of look, cross between that and lowrider type of
Mhm.
thing, and that was back in 2018.
This is Marcus Davila with Lions Act Productions.
Marcus Davilio. Don't
Davila,
know.
yeah,
I might.
he does Lions Act Productions with
Okay.
him and his partner, and I did a film down there called The American Coyote, and
Okay. I remember you were talking about that.
yeah, that one was with him, and The Legend of the Donkey Lady, which was on YouTube. I also
Mm-hmm.
did that down in San Antonio as well too. He films a lot of projects out there, and he's got a lot of his projects that he's trying to put out as well. And so most of his stuff is best for local actors. And so, which he does stuff with other actors such as like Damien Chapa. I know that they're working with the project with him right now, and they've done some work with Vic Trevino, and a whole lot of different projects that they have coming up. That might be a good director to connect with.
Well, yeah, you can send me that info later on that because I would like to get that into. Um, I want to start working on that because I'm getting frustrated. Um, I find acting and stuff on set is therapeutic for me.
Hmm.
Being a disabled army vet, I deal with my own issues. But again, I being on set and being around certain people I can trust, it makes me feel like I'm doing something.
Yeah, no, I
My
understand, man.
wife even tells me I'm a long-winded storyteller, and I'm like, well, if you go with the native community, that's what you're going to. You go with the veteran community, same thing. You just can't get away from it. And then the
Storytellers
acting
on
is
all
even worse.
sides.
Oh yeah, you just can't get away from it.
Hmm.
You know,
For sure. Now, do
uh,
you have any training, or have you done any acting training?
I do a lot of on the job training kind of thing. Do this,
Okay,
do
so
this, do that. And I learned to pick up. Plus, I've had other people teach me things. I was even taught by a good friend of mine, Simon King, up in
mhm,
Portland. He's an awesome director.
okay,
He knows very well if he does a project that's going to be doing something big. I'd take a trip up there just for him.
okay,
He taught me to do directing.
nice.
I know I was getting back to I was doing the 48. We won a bunch of stuff. Then came down here and did a 48 here in San Antonio with a bunch of natives,
Hmm.
mostly. We popped out something pretty decent, and just had one word that messed up and then kicked us off the whole thing. We won the People's Award. We were told
Yeah,
if that one word was not there, or because it was made it was made as a contraction instead of two words, same thing, but it had to be verbatim. We
yeah,
would have won a bunch of awards, and
man,
I'm like,
that's
mother.
crazy.
But I
You
haven't
learn,
done
right?
anything. I haven't done stuff with a 48 since. I've been thinking about doing something for 48. Just do it.
Nice. Hey,
Uh,
that's what you got to do, because that's how
mhm.
like actors like say Rocky, Rocky or Sylvester Stallone. Sorry, Sylvester Stallone wasn't really getting a lot of main roles until he did Rocky.
Adrian.
Yeah, and if he didn't do that, he wouldn't be considered a A-lister today, because a lot of people didn't think that he had it. And so a lot of times in the industry, you got to make your own way. You got to kick those doors down, right?
Oh yeah. But with us being skin or red bone or whatever terminology you want to call, yeah, red bone's an old 70s term for half breed, or skin being, native skin,
Yeah.
we already have an uphill battle as it is.
Hmm.
And I do see some things changing, like with res dogs and so forth, and uh, some positive things there, yeah. But we have a good while until we start doing like like I was saying with the African American or the Latino, you know, filming organization or whatever it is. I can't think of it right now. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's also why I'm looking. I'd love to bring back Nace, put it back on it where it was, and have it stronger and better than it was before.
Hmm.
Now that I know more about business and non-for-profit business and what can and cannot be done, I'm like, wicked. I know what to do.
Nice.
But that takes up a lot of my time away, being doing it. If I was to do it again and get it rolling again, um, I would love to have people who are dedicated, like it's their passion. They
hmm.
want to better our people. They want to do positive things, not have the other life drama get in the way.
Yeah.
You
No,
know.
totally get it.
But for me, I'd love to get back on it and get her rolling in it. To at least she's having fun with it. If
Yeah.
you were 5 years old and you got told, "Hey, you're gonna do be a background," and you didn't know what it means, but when you got older, it was like, "That's me." She does that with when I record, like modern, unlike me, my generation, the only thing we ever had really was Polaroids.
Yeah.
Unless your family was really rich, then they had the recording actual film with right? That
Yeah.
machine back in the 70s and 80s. But I want to have she look. I record things so she has a memory of what we do and how things are, and she's like, That's me, yeah." And that helps bring that sense of identity to her
Yeah.
because
That's,
we are responsible. My late father also was a Vietnam vet and Native and Celt, taught me on things like you're responsible for 7 generations back and 7 generations forward at a minimum.
yeah.
You know,
And
Sh- what do we leave our children? Like when you have children, brother, if you choose to have that, what do you want to teach them? What do you
and
want to
actually,
show for them? What do you want to give them as a gift, like that nobody else can take from them?
yeah.
Education, knowledge, self identity, and self respect, and the things to get things done. Like when she gets on set, like when she gets on a set for photography, or her first time going to hopefully be on a set for a film, a short film, a regular film. You know, I'm still waiting for the project to hopefully soon in the next few years. It'll show up, and because I want to be in it, I hope to be there. I was told I was going to be in an anime.
Nice.
And you
Um,
froze. Oh, now you're back.
oh, you know, my kids actually work already.
How old are your kids?
Yeah. 5, 7,
Winter,
12.
come here. Come here.
Oh no. 7, 9, and 12. Sorry. Hey,
This
how's
is
it going?
Winter Dawn.
And my kids have been like Jasmine. I see what you're talking about because
I'm having fun in the house.
oh, that is awesome. I'm glad you're having
All
fun.
right. So say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
No, wave your hand. Tell them your name.
Winter Don Bailey.
A little bit louder.
Oh,
Winter Don Bailey.
nice to meet you.
Hi, Daddy.
All right, go
Hi,
play.
little dog. Uh, you know, whenever Jasmine was watching her iPad one day, she was on kids YouTube, and saw a Chuck E. Cheese commercial in that she was in, and she saw herself. She's like, "Oh my god, I saw myself!"
Yeah. that brings that, oh wow, it's me, and that brings confidence and drive, and you get if you teach them the right way, be like, this is what I'm doing, and this is a gift to you.
Yeah.
We may not have much.
Jesse and Jasmine went
We
that way.
hope to be even C-listers, like, hey, if they come up with another Sharknado, I want to be on that.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to probably give this one away, but if anybody wants to do that, and they think Dino-Nado, weird, whatever.
Yeah. Jasmine and Jesse were both in that same commercial for the Chuck E. Cheese, so they were all both really happy. And then LeCane saw himself in 1923, and the season 2, episode 2, I think it is. And so he's like, "That was me right there." I was like, "Yeah, it was you, bud."
Mm-hmm.
And so they've been in other commercials and TV shows as background as well, and so they really enjoy it. They enjoy working for their money, And
Mm-hmm.
so not only that, and with that, whenever they go other place like their grandma, grandpa's, they they go to work. They'll work for their money.
Mm-hmm. Well, both of my parents are gone to the other side. So,
They died.
yes, baby.
My grandparents
Stop. I know.
to Remington.
I know. But, honey, go play.
Daddy.
Anyway, I'd love to
Kids
be able to
are-
get on a commercial. And just before the pandemic, I was going to try to get on the commercial for motorcycles, for an
Mhm.
insurance thing that they were needing for motorcycles. I look like a bloody biker. You put leather on me and put me on a freaking thing, I'm a biker.
Yeah. So
So I'd love to be able to work with people who's ever looking at this. Um, Understand that I'm on a fixed income right now until either I hit the lottery or I actually get found somewhere and doing something else besides what I'm doing.
hmm
Just like, you make do with what you got to do here. You got to do. I have to go back to work and find something else to do while I'm doing this. I'm part-time in
Yeah.
school, full-time looking for another job, and then full-time looking for an acting gig or a directing gig or a producer or this or that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you. Well, what would be necessary to get the coalition started back up again? What kind of requirements would somebody need to meet?
People with a passion.
hmm
I know you can't. I have the passion. I've carried it for years. Okay. Even right now, with the fact it'd have to be redone with all the paperwork, uh, and based here for right now. And the idea was also have chapters in different states, and we were growing that way slowly.
hmm
And I even had a contingent in Canada
Nice.
of a group of natives to do a Canadian thing up there. Sadly, my contact there was shot and killed by RCMP
Oh wow.
in front of his kid. He had a mental health a moment, right?
Yeah.
And instead of taking care of the problem, he was shot. That has been the only fatality like that since the existence of NACE.
Yeah.
That whole contingent was a contingent on him and his group. After he passed, they all kind of went.
Wow. That's rough.
But to get it started, I want people who are passionate, who will want to get the job done, because I don't like micromanaging. I don't. I give you being the thing. We're a team, but I delegate. Say, okay, this, and this. But if you come up with a better idea, I want to hear about it, just like you would within the nation, or how people would
hmm
understand tribe. I don't like tribe. We're not tribe. We're nations or empires. If you go south of the border. Okay. The whole point is we are a team. We have different roles and different responsibilities to get things done, but it does not preclude someone's idea.
Mm.
But when you say you're going to do something, short of some certain things, life happens, but still try to get it done. Get it done. The big that also grant writers, What I found out here in San Antonio, if once I get the money up and have it redone through the government, right, that there's a possible way through a program in San Antonio to get actual brick and mortar for a non-for-profit.
Oh, nice.
It has to be relevant, which I think this is being a minority in the entertainment industry, not a minority, the minority.
Mm-hmm.
That's been my issue. And be able to do that and be open-minded. Hey, non-for-profit is really a business that can give out tax deductions. That's it. And if you can get donations, great. Any company can get donations. It's the tax write-off for the other party or parties
Yeah.
that makes it that unique.
Okay.
Okay, I would love people who are native. We even had people that were not native and they were associate members or like associate supporting members, right? So we were not precluding anybody who was going to be to ally and assist us. I'm not being that way.
Yeah.
The only thing was you had to be an officer, you had to be native, whether enrolled or DNA proven. Like my second ex-wife, she was raised and thought she was native mixed. Guess what? She did the DNA test, not one thing in her. And it rocked her mind because from almost all her life, she thought she was like Penobscot or whatever it is from New England and some other stuff and Blackfoot. And all of a sudden, no, that really messed with her for a while.
Mm.
Because if you were told this is who you are and this is where your family comes from, and all of a sudden you take it, all of a sudden it says no, it's not, and you're over 20, 30 years old, that's your life. That's been your
Yeah.
narrative. So yeah. But I'd love to get Nace back on track and get it rolling. I would love to get all the people that and invite all these other ABC listeners that are native and say, look, we're in it to win it. This whole thing of getting scraps off of a table, the metaphor table, which is the industry, kind of like. Do you remember Braveheart? There was the Scottish one. Right, and there was a segment. You are gotten so used to getting the scraps off a Longshanks table, you've lost your God-given right to be like Scotsmen. Well, in our case, we're so used to getting our little scraps of from everywhere else, we've forgotten what it is to be human, to be indigenous, to be Lakota, Lipan Apache, Chiricahua, anything, Cherokee, Seminole, whatever. We've forgotten that in a certain way. At least as a whole. I can't say one individually, but there's a lot of scraps on it, and it can be in this industry is backstabbing in a way, whether intentionally or unintentionally. That's also kind of that's the plus on the indie field most of the time.
Yeah.
We're not shown all the time, but we're in it as a team, and it's not to kill everybody, not purposely. Where in mainstream it is, but But again, I can go on different renderings on that.
I get you.
What else would
Yeah,
you like to know?
I see that a
What else
lot
would you like
too.
to know?
That actually, I was just gonna touch on that a little bit real quick. Because that is something that I talk about too. Bucket crabs. You got people that are willing to pull you down. As soon as you start getting a little bit higher up, they want to pull you back down to where they were. Because jealousy. But you can't. That's not how we're supposed to be. That's why today's Blackfoot
Mm-mm.
word. Was accepting everyone. Because
Yeah,
that's the native way. Really, is accepting everyone. Uh,
right. And but sadly, 500 plus years of cultural depression and being treated like we're being integrated to the Borg, like in Star Trek.
mhm.
I jokingly say the Borg is the United States government or colonial governments. Resistance is futile. We're going to assimilate you.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what's been going on over the years, and it's sad and it's messed up. It's good to see finally some indigenous people actually getting to represent indigenous lifestyle, not the old 1800 styles, but modern, like as we talked about Red Sox earlier. You know,
Mhm.
uh, it's refreshing to see that. So But
Well,
it
I
was
have
very.
I'm writing. I have several scripts that I had one that's been sitting for a while called D-Res, and it's a whole series of about four or five planned, develop. I have the script for one. I can develop the other scripts, but it was a series, and it's called. I came up with the word D-Resed
Mm,
many years ago, and it's basically you're off the res. You've been kicked off the res, or you've been whatever situation you were forced off the res, or you were also forced off your own native traditional lands. So I came up with deresed, and it's a coming. The first one was a coming back to the circle. The family just coming back to the circle, and then the next one was describing what happened, what the parents did, and then the grandparents and so forth. It would go back even to I think the third one, the third or fourth movie would go back to about the time during the native schools where they were ripping kids
mm,
out, and it was going to be talking about it throughout until you hit it was backwards, kind of
yeah.
like what you see with Fast and the Furious. It's not linear. It's kind of like you have to watch it in a combinational way. This is backwards. You see what is present, and you're going back,
Mm,
and
very
and you
exciting.
learn the history as you're learning now, but you're seeing backwards.
Okay.
And I have that. I came up with a another idea, developed idea, and I'm actually trying to use a program to help me write it. Uh, the book, which also translates into the episodic series. And originally, it was an idea to pitch to Star Trek. Originally, it was because of the things that over since TOS, when you had these bunch of these actors that were not native, they were Italian, they were Greek, whatever, playing native with William Shatner on there being native.
Hmm.
Then they talked about it in TNG. They talked about it in Voyager. They might have talked about it in DS9. And I was like, this spurred me an idea to do a project and work on build a project uh, dealing with our people and so forth that deals with a certain thing. But I was told it would be next to impossible to get it up to anybody's ears and have control of it.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, I can do a fan film. Well, uh, since the lawsuit for Paramount with this other guy, since he did a much better production with his fan film than they could have done on their own with a whole lot less of a budget, they were now require it to be X amount of time. And
Uh,
then also, anything you create is becomes the product and license of Paramount through Star Trek
wow.
or something along those lines. So I ripped it out of that universe, made its own universe, and just still working it that way.
Nice.
And then I have a friend of mine. He was an officer with my alternate media department. He was the department, but he was the officer of it. That would be Marcus Kane. He's
Hmm.
a native mix as well as Hawaiian mix. Polynesian. So he's a little mix of everything on that one.
Yeah.
Uh, and I came up with an idea too, and I asked him, "Do you want to be on board with it?" And it deals with on the Celtic side of my lineage, and he loved it and all of it. And that's also I found out a way how to put natives in an all Celtic storyline,
Nice.
or anybody else in an all basically Celtic storyline.
Yeah. That's pretty
So
cool.
yeah. So and that is the Quest for Terra.
Is that a script or is that like you're saying, or is that a film that you already started making?
No, we've been developing it for years, working the kinks out of it. The writing we have the we came I came up with it with an old ancient Irish tale. So there is no licensing. It's like it's an old Irish tale. it's thousands of years old. If
Gotcha.
someone tries to say something about it, it's thousands of years old.
Gotcha.
And so I got the backbone of it, the structure. Because if you've seen scripts like they might do sequels or episodics, they sometimes tend to not have something to look back to, and then they make weird episodes that make no sense.
Yeah.
Like, were you ever a fan of Voyager?
Yes, a long
Star
time
Trek?
ago.
Do you remember when there was an episode where the doctor crash landed in a planet and stayed there for 500 to 700 years until he went back to Earth?
Yeah.
Then the next episode, no, he's fine, and he never. It made no sense,
Yeah.
you know. Things of that nature. I have this set up to where if other writers who are going to be on board with things, and that's also what I'm trying to do with my other projects that I'm developing slowly, is to have a foundation book or booklet. If you're not sure, and I also like writing my own characters, like if you were to play D&D, you ever play D&D, Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, it
You
was
know how you
fun.
come up with your whole
Yeah.
backstory? Okay, I make backstories to give, like, say, I want to have you, for example. Okay, you got this character, or you working with this character. Here's the history of this character, so you know what to work with and make it your own. I don't want you to be, I want you to add you to this. I don't want it to add to you. I want you to add to this. Add your person, your being, but also within the structure. Like, you're putting the muscles, you're putting the skin and everything else, but here's the
Yeah.
bones. This is the character. You add the rest. That's how I like doing it.
Basically,
Because then
how would these situations have shaped you?
somewhat, but then again, how would you shape the situation of the character?
Yeah.
And that's what I look at. I have ideas galore on episodics and movies. And some of them, or a good chunk of them, come from a lot of our own histories, our own oral histories, you know. And we have a plethora of stories we can teach with the mythos and also the bottom line, the teaching, what the storyline, the punchline, or whatever it is to it, because a lot of our ancestors, and I found this out in my own travels, this is my experience, nobody records anything. And I have a fundamental reason why that happened. Before 1975, 76, before the American Freedom of Religion Act happened, anybody practicing native religion or cultural beliefs was to wound up disappeared, hung, or in jail.
Hmm.
Okay, so you have over 500 years of hiding. And you have small groups that have ancient, awesome medicine knowledge or knowledge of history that nobody knows, but they don't write it down.
Hello. Oh no, he froze again. Oh, that's great. Um, I think what we're gonna do whenever he comes back is I'm gonna have him go over last his last words. Let me see if he's back. It's still here. Hello? Peekaboo? All the oxy free? No. Nothing yet. All right. Man, it is getting kind of close to the time to where I got to get ready to go to the event tonight. Like I said, I only planned on having one guest today, and usually they go for about 45 minutes. However, we've gone a little bit longer than that, and it's been a pretty interesting conversation. He just disappeared off of my screen for my guest. So as soon as he comes back, I'm gonna go ahead and go over some last thoughts with him. Okay. And we're gonna get some things, but also for those of you guys who are watching, don't forget, just like on the intro on the intro page, or title, there is a secret code embedded. There is secret code embedded in the end titles, end credits. So keep an eye out for the end credits, okay? And see if you can see the secret code. Uh, Joseph, since it seems to be going like that, and I do have
No,
to,
I found
I
out
do
what
have
it
an event
was.
I
I
got to
think I
get
know
to
what it
afterwards.
was. I think I
I
know what
want
it was.
to,
My
yeah.
VPN kicked on.
Do what?
VPN. It's an encryptional thing. It
Oh,
kicked
okay,
on, and I was
gotcha.
like, because it popped up on a separate tab, and I was like, I'm like, I didn't ask for it to turn on. So that's probably
Nice.
been the problem. It's trying to encrypt everything.
I gotcha. Well, I
Um,
do have
hmm,
event that I got to get to after here around 8:30.
oh, I get it.
But what I want to do is I want to go over any last thoughts, any encouragements that you have for anybody who's looking to get into the industry or anything. Any tips for anyone?
Dare to dream is the good thing. And we live this life, we should take advantage of it and as best as possible and try very hard not to hurt anyone in the process because you never know who you're going to meet. You're the one person all of a sudden, and all of a sudden they wind up making it big, and all of a sudden, guess what? Well, you kind of made them harsh against you, if possibly. Um, if you got an idea for a project, write it down. Even if you don't got a script, just the idea of here, 3, 5+ pages, the kind of the plot synopsis, do it. Get wherever you're at. I don't know if you're, since you said this is international, if there's any organizations or groups that do indie and do meetups like that, because it used to be like that here in San Antonio, and it's not as big as it was before. At least I've even inquired and still is do it. Just hey, let's get it together. Do a 48, like you said. Get to network. Get to do this. I miss doing these things because I would network with people. That's how I would know what projects were coming up. But the pandemic went. But
Yeah, I got
also
you.
know your self-worth and not in the sense of being cocky, like with your head like this, but don't let anybody push you down. Be respectful. It's kind of like that whole balancing act, right? And keep to your ethics within reason. Don't let your ethics become your ego
Mm.
because that turns out to be bad. We have to learn to adapt. Just like in nature, if something does not adapt, becomes stagnant, it usually disappears.
Yeah.
It doesn't progress. Um, and treat everybody kindly. Like I said, be respectful. Treat everybody kindly. Have fun if you get on set, have fun, joke around. Whether it's your first time or your 1 millionth time, you still got something to learn one way or another,
For sure.
you know? Um, and if you're wanting to do the whole NACE thing, I'd like to know so I can, if people want to know, hey, that's fine. Um, I'm not sure what else I can tell you.
You're all good. Well, I'm interested, and I also have your social medias on the end credits too. Okay, so that
Awesome.
way
Cool.
people can find you on. I believe I have your YouTube and your Instagram page up on there. Okay.
Okay. Well, I can also do my face. I forgot to give you my Facebook one because I have a separate one from the one that I know you on.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a page, not an account, but a page. How you have your account, you can do this page, this page, this page.
Yeah.
You can put yourself as super dad and or this, that, the other, right? Or like they used to have in Facebook before, they allowed you to have pages for your pets. They got rid of
Yeah.
those. I still got a
Okay.
couple.
Well, yeah.
But
Send it to me, and whenever I do the shorts, I'll put it on the shorts as well. Okay.
all right, nobody else have any questions that is watching? I saw a couple of people pop up. Hey, I like Grim and whatever.
Yeah.
If you got a couple, if you want something real quick before we end, I'd like that you want to ask me. Here's the time.
Yeah. I think at the moment, I'm not sure if who's still on. I do still see some people that are still on as well right now that are watching, but I don't see any questions rolling through.
All right. Well, it was great to be here. Thank you.
Sure. I appreciate it. Appreciate your
And
time.
brother, let's network and start doing some possibly great things, or at least some good things. Or we can also get our kids involved and have them do their own little thing
Hmm.
from a child's perspective, which is a lot better at times than our own.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds
All right.
good. I know that my kids
I'll
run their
just say
YouTube
basically
channels.
before I was doing this before. Be victorious in anything and everything that you do, no matter how great or how small. Be victorious and try to be victorious daily, and try to be victorious in all aspects of your life.
Awesome. Appreciate you, brother.
Hmm.
All right. You have a great day, okay?
You have a great
A
night.
great evening.
Hmm.
And
And I
I look
hope.
forward to bringing you on whenever we have our full stage going, okay? All right. Get the Kamatsu.
So.
Awesome show. Excited to have had him on. And I look forward to seeing all of you guys again and for you guys to come on to my next episodes. We have some more stuff coming up as well as a little bit more musicians that are be coming on from other things that I've done as well as the Cowboy Computer Tour. Now the next stop for the Cowboy Computer Tour is I believe June 4th, South Padre Island. Follow Chris Detroit for more information. And keep an eye on my YouTube page. My YouTube page is about to come out with a lot of content, and I'll be posting the interviews that I did at Social Live. Those will be going on to my YouTube as well. I will be putting them on these pages as well, but you'll see more of a real version versus the entire interview. So I advise you to go subscribe to my YouTube. Remember that we are doing Beat It hat giveaways. This is one of them. You're gonna have to go back to some of the other ones to see what the other ones are because those are some really cool hats as well. On my other videos, on my other pages, my other podcasts. So go over there, check it out, subscribe to my YouTube, and you guys have a great day. And don't forget, there's a secret word, secret code. Sorry, that was weird. Code is embedded. Secret code or secret weapon? It's a word. I believe it's secret code is embedded in the end credits. So check it out. And next week, let me know what that secret code is. All right? And you're going to have to let me know in the chat. And I'll see if there's something that I can do. All right? Secret supposed to go. That's funny. Thanks, man. Anyways, y'all have a great one. Get the Kamatsu. Till we meet again, y'all. Y'all take care. Have one day. And keep pushing forward. All right. Thank you.
Fuiste mal con mi corazón y ahora vienes a buscarme. Un día fuiste todo para mí y ahora no puedo ni verte. Yeah, something like that. Thank y'all, man.